been a minute since I made a video. It's like going back to square one again, being super awkward on camera. So it's gonna be freaking rough. But there's a lot of things that have changed since the last time I made a video. Have not been focusing on the truck, obviously. What the frick with this thing? Obviously haven't been focusing on my truck too much because just look at it. Poor thing sitting back there. Look at this. It's probably the saddest she's ever been. So much freaking neglect. What else we got here? Look at this side. Oh my god. There's just like insane amounts of freaking dirt piled up on this thing. But I'm finally getting back in the mood where I'm ready to start finally doing some stuff with it. Definitely missed having it out this year, so I'm gonna start plugging away here and hopefully try to start nipping off a little bit of things I have to do. Huge list, like this big. So what I really want to focus on first, let me spin you guys around here. Oh, whatever. So what I really want to focus on is getting the bed put back on this thing. Now, in order to do that, I gotta mount my fuel cell. I gotta do tranny coolers. They're gonna be going right up here on the side of the frame. Battery's already been mounted. We got through that a couple, like last year or something like that. I worked on that last winter, maybe. I think it was last winter. We got a lot of the rewiring done and all that stuff, but I got to order a ton of AN lines and a ton of AN fittings and all that stuff to get everything buttoned up. But I want to get everything that's going to be under the bed done, so I can just throw the bed back on and not have to mess around under there anymore, because it's really easy to get to without the bed being on, obviously. One of the biggest things, I just recently did this basically for working on the truck, because I'm going to be doing aluminum welding and I need to be able to do new piping because they have a new intercooler in there now. So I finally broke down and I got myself a freaking Tiggy machine, but that thing is super hard to use. That's gonna be some serious learning curve here. Look at these. Look how good I am with this thing. What the freak is that? Oh boy, yeah. So it's gonna be rough learning how to use that thing. Hopefully I can figure it out, or somebody else can come over and help me get it set up and figure out exactly what needs to be done with it. But I'm gonna set you guys up, and I think I'm gonna start working on getting my tranny coolers on. I have for it. I don't even know if this is in the last video that I've even had these. I don't think it was, but got these puppies right here. So as far as tranny coolers, I got two of these Durali. Jeez, I don't even know what they're called. They're a little bit smaller of a cooler, but supposedly this style, which I believe they call it a plate tube or something like that, and fin. I don't know, plate tube and fin, freaking something. But these are plates in here versus just having where there's round tubes surrounded by these little cooling doohickeys. So something's different about them, where supposedly they're supposed to have better cooling, but I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. I'm just hoping for the best here. But I think both of these fans move about 500 CFM a piece. But these are gonna go over here on the side of the frame. So there was a frame mount here, or a bed mount here, a bed mount here, which I cut off because they're the same height, like these ones here. They're the same height as the frame, so I'm just sitting on the frame. I'm debating on trying to do this one-handed. It's gonna be rough. Don't drop these. Oh my god. I want these to mount right here somehow. Kind of why I got that piece of angle laying there already, but I haven't really exactly figured it out yet. But that's what I got going on as far as tranny coolers, so I'm gonna start trying to. Why are you doing this? See, I'm not on GoPro right now. I'm on my iPhone with the. Stop doing that! Oh my god, this is horrendous. I'm on my iPhone with the gimbal thing that I used to use, because I don't know why I am, but I just am. But I'm gonna start trying to figure out how to fab those tranny coolers up for now. That fuel cell, I'm gonna have to be welding on that, which is kind of one of the reasons I got the TIG welder, but I'm definitely not ready to be welding on that tank because I don't want that to get any holes in there or leak or just look like crap. So I need to definitely figure out what I'm doing with the welder before we get to that. But that's enough BS. I'm gonna start trying to fab up those coolers. I kind of came up with a game plan here. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out, I'm gonna get rid of this rivet, pound that puppy out of there. I'm gonna replace it with a bolt, and then I'm gonna put one of these guys here. One of these, this is just an aluminum piece at angle. It's pretty heavy duty stuff, so it should work. But drill through that, put a big bolt in it, and have it hanging off out here. And then this aluminum will end up sitting here. And I'm not sure where that other one's gonna end up landing. Hopefully it's about here somewhere, and we'll do the same thing on that side. But I think we're gonna need a piece of flat stock, or even just another one of these to come out in the middle to support it in the middle, because I don't think those are gonna hold themselves. So I'll get you guys on time lapse and I'll start plugging away at that. All right, so we got some sort of something going on here. Pretty much what it's gonna be, just hopefully not ugly by the time I'm done. But these guys each just sit right there where all these holes are. The other one's gonna go do the same thing, just overlapping this one. Should have the same bolts in the center. I'm gonna go through and try to what the heck's going on with this thing here? What the freak? Try to clean up these edges, round them down a little bit. Same on the inside edge. Just try to get rid of all my sharp corners so it doesn't look so bad, but all gonna be under the bed anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Plus it's aluminum, so it's gonna be nice and light, except for this little metal support. That's all I had was steel, so it's gonna be steel, but too bad. Well, go ahead and clean these brackets up quick, and then we'll get it all put together. Alrighty, got all the brackets here, kind of somewhat touched up, so they're not so sharp on the edges. These things came out a little meh. I mean, we got rid of the corners. I mean, I guess that's the most important part, but they're all under the bed, so it don't really matter. I mean, they'll be cleaner than what it used to be before. I think it was bolted to the bottom of the bed, and the old tray cooler leaked, and it had wire nuts on the freaking wires. Shot, completely shot, dude. So, go on another time lapse here. Get these bad boys bolted up and see what they look like when they're done. There they are, all bolted up. Came up pretty decent. I hope that is enough room in there to get a 90 on there, but what I'm thinking is, instead of putting my AN facing straight towards the frame, I'm going to do a 90 first, then AN down. I'm going to go under the frame. Or actually, I might be able to 90 kind of up at an angle, then go over the top of the frame. That would be ideal, because I don't have any lines hanging out like that. But see what they look like from the bottom. Oh yeah, that's pretty freaking decent, eh? Ugh. So I already had that red wire down in there. That's already ran back here to run these fans. And this is, I believe, I want to say an 8 wire. It's been a minute since I was doing all the electrical stuff, but it's either an 8 or a 6. But whatever it is, I want to say it's good for 30 amp, and I think these only draw like maybe 10 amp per fan, so not a whole lot. So that wire should be plenty enough to do that. But we'll bring our wires up wherever they are. Bring our wires up here. Everything, we have a really good ground to the frame, like this guy here. Just that's not gonna be permanent. That was temporary to make sure all my wiring worked for the most part. We're gonna have a really good ground to the frame somewhere so that every accessory, as far as like the tranny cooler fans, the lift pump, which will be back there eventually, and then my radiator fans up front, everything should be able to ground to the frame and not have to run a second wire out here. So I'll hook up my 2 power wires to this, and then the other 2 will ground to the frame, and then I should be able to turn them on and off from one of these guys here. I think Transfan, that one. Can't really read it from where I am, but you get the point. Be able to turn everything on from right in there. It's gonna be nice. But came out pretty decent for what it is. So the plan is, what doing? Are you hiding back there? Oh, you found your bed. Good girl. So the tranny cooler is gonna be underneath the bed right here. The plan is to cut out a square here and put some sort of a grate with like a nice trim piece around it so I can get really good flow through those fans. And this way, if I ever have any heat problems at the track, we can just go ahead and throw some ice, throw some water right through the tranny coolers, whatever we need to do to get it cooled back down. Just in case we end up hot lapping if we ever get to the point where like we can be like super cool and like get past like round 1 in one of the events we go to. But yeah, came out pretty freaking decent. All right, now we got some sort of a super minty wiring job going on here. Anyway, just trying to make sure these fans are going the right direction. I want them to pull air downwards. So I just kind of mocked up some quick wiring here. Obviously, nothing's gonna stay like that, although things that have happened on this channel before might lead you to believe that. But I got the battery charger hooked up on that thing because that battery's junk. So we should be able to jump in the truck here. And dang, them freaking things are singing. Let's see which way they're blowing. Oh my God, let's listen to them freaking things. Holy crap. The fans definitely have no problem moving some air, but hopefully the coolers themselves are big enough to displace all the heat. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Having a hard time feeling this out. I think they're blowing the wrong way. Oh, perfect. They're blowing upwards. Alright, so we gotta swap some wires around quick and see what we get. Okay, flippity floppity done did. Yeah. See what it do. This is my favorite part of the whole thing. Oh my God, I love that. Now they're pulling down for sure. Those things are no freaking joke. Those bad boys are gonna make for some premium freaking cooling. Like that is mint. I like that. I have high hopes for them. Those are freaking sweet for sure. Alright, so it's the next day. I spent pretty much all day figuring out how to use this new TIG machine. This guy here. Oh my God, this thing's locked on my face. Whatever. Oh my God, what the f***? Alright, so it's the next day now. I spent pretty much all day yesterday trying to figure out how to use this guy. That was, that's a serious learning curve there. I definitely don't even like have it down yet at all. Check out some of this garbage I got going on. So That I think was some of my first attempts there. I could just not get this thing stuck together for the life of me. It's pretty difficult stuff. Then I finally got this big piece to start sticking, get some action going on there. And then I was able to lay some decent beads here and there, but ooh. So I was able to make something work out of it. I'm definitely not super consistent with it. It's going to take a lot of practice, I think, to get that down. But once I get it down, it's going to be something really nice to have in the shop. So here's what I ended up with for the fuel cell. I got a couple brackets here welded on the back. I'm going to through bolt it through this cross member. And then there's a couple more right there. Those are going to get through bolted to that cross member. There's a gap on this one. There's also a gap on this one. So I'm going to have to come up with some sort of spacer for each of those, because you don't want to pull those tabs out, because aluminum's really sketchy to me on like trailers and everything. I've seen it crack a lot, and I don't want the fuel cell to be cracking, and I don't want any stress on that. So I kind of want everything to come to the tank itself versus pulling it to where it wants to be for optimal strength. Because I mean, the last thing I want cracking or falling out of the truck is the fuel cell, that's for sure. So it's like a week later now. Yeah, I never showed you guys what I ended up coming up with for the fuel cell once it was fully mounted up. And I also didn't film an outro for this video, so here I am doing it now. But now, of course, I have the hood sitting back on the frame, so it's out of my way. So now you can't see the fuel cell. But, ooh, look at them welds. That was the first one I did on the fuel cell. And that one gets a little bit better on that side. Still not good, but a little better. Then it gets a little better. They pretty much get better as you go across the frame. Like, the more I started welding on it, the more I started to get it. It's like, it's super tedious. You have to be super patient with it. And it's like, I've welded with a MIG for a while, and I'm not like amazing at it, but I can get it done. But this is like not even close to welding with a MIG. It's like everything you know, throw in the garbage, start over. So I was struggling for sure, but we'll get better at it over time. See if I can move this thing so you guys can see. So that's how she ended up mounting up. The thing's ridiculously heavy. That was super hard to try to get that picture. But that's pretty much what we came up with. It's all mounted up in there now. I'll put a picture of it at the end of the video. But hopefully I can keep moving with making videos for you guys. Now I'm making this video again, I'm like realizing how much I actually miss it. But this thing has been seriously neglected like so badly, and I just can't wait to get it back out this year. This summer I was pretty distracted by other things I had going on, like that. I tried to put a couple of videos out of that, but nobody gave a shit. So I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna waste my time. But I'm still gonna ride that all summer because it's like freaking sick, dude. But I'm gonna try. I really want to try to get that back on the road for the summer. I mean, we still need a lot of funds to do that. So take it day by day and hope for the best. Hopefully it'll be out this summer, but look forward to making some more videos.